Hello there and welcome back to the Bordeaux rebuild. Here we have a big episode. We have our youth intake, which might be underwhelming, but we also have our Europa League last 16 tie against Shakhtar Donetsk. Anyway, let's get into what happened since last episode, where we faced one of the most hardest games we'll ever come across. Spurs and Toulouse. Not nice to lose into a derby, and Tottenham team we didn't really do too much against. But check last episode for that. Anyway, I've rotated team in the last game against Austria Vienna, where Merveld, penalty, and Barco got us a 2-0 win over them. Back to league form, 6-2 home win against Stade Brest. Wergy, Bio, Chimay with 2 and Pereira and Chateau getting the goals in this 6-2 win. Over to the 11th round of the French Cup, where a 3-0 win over Nantes. Barco, Bricu and Wergy with the goals in that one. Lille and a 1-0 set piece defeat to them. Over to Paris FC and 0-0 draw. Did a lot, but didn't really score. Over to Rennes, a 2-0 win away from home at Rudier and Jamir getting goals in that one. And then Olympique Lyon, where Tyler Tati got a goal for them. Leguizon got injured and probably can't play today, but 1-0 defeat on that one. So over to our Ligue 1, we sit just in the top 6 in the Conference League positions. Bit of a way from Lille, so Europe for next season isn't too bad, but we have the fact of Europa League. Last 16, a couple of ties have been played already, but it's two-legged ties. We'll play both of them in today's episode, and in between that, we'll skip through the REM game, but we'll show you the youth intake, as that's in, I think, 5 days. So, this is the team that will go into it. As we start, Ramos, Lorenzo, LaSalle, and Bai, Chateau, Bricu, Barco, Jamir, Pereira, Rudy, and Wergy. So then, Europa League, last 16 tie against Shakhtar Donetsk. They are from Ukraine, so unfortunately they cannot play in Ukraine due to things ongoing in real life. But let's focus on the game. Khrushchev, starting a good tackle for Dio, shot blocked out for a corner. Shakhtar Donetsk. Where are we actually playing this game? In Krakow? Playing in Russia, I think? Not 100% sure. I'm not sure Russia's too much better, but and by up to Lorenzo, back in the team after his recent injury. Definitely my favourite over LaSalle. Jamir down the right. Jamir cross into Barco, header. Not the biggest player, so the fact that they even got a header on relative target is not too bad. Also, Ravy, they're in an orange kit. There's only 1,200 come to this game, which is a little surprising, but I guess with all the stuff that's going on. Khrushchev up to Zahora, cross, no one in the box, Lorenzo away, Pereira's not going to win that. Boulay Dia, touch, turn, shot, into the bottom corner, Shakhtar 1, Bordeaux 0. Bandera for Shakhtar. Maybe a 1-0 defeat isn't the worst result to go into this one, but anything worse than that, we've got a lot to do in the second leg. Obviously, defeat isn't exactly what we're going for. Whereas you find Jamir down the right, got a couple of goals recently. Jamir to Lorenzo, and that's why we love Lorenzo. Lorenzo into the bottom corner. Shakhtar keeper, absolutely no chance. 26 minutes in, and Bordeaux level it up. Right, Barco with the corner. Plays it short to Jamir. Jamir, Rudier, Barco, Bricu, and by Lorenzo. Wergy, Lorenzo again. Can he get a second goal? Does shoot. Same corner, in same result, into the top corner. What a finish from Lorenzo. Just don't get that from LaSalle. 2 goals, and Bordeaux have turned this around. Right, Lorenzo on the ball. Already got 2 goals. A hat-trick from a right back is going to be one of the most strangest things I've ever seen. Shakhtar, left fullback, just dances past, and the 3 goals from fullbacks, 3 goals for Bordeaux, 36 minutes in. It's going to be a team of fullbacks getting us in to the next round by the look of it. 3-1 after 36 minutes. Lorenzo up to Pereira, coming at a 4th already. Lorenzo already on the edge of the box. Can we get someone that isn't a fullback scoring? But Chateau up to Rudier. Rudier gets his goal up to the top corner. It's been a lot of very good finishes from this one. Commentary says it might be fractionally offside. Hopefully it's not for us. VR, we'll check it. And it is awarded. Rudier is on the score sheet just after half time. On the ball down the right, 74 minutes in, and back to LaSalle, who is playing centre back this game, not quite right back, as Mbayo is injured for this game. Rudier down the left, 75 on the clock, can get a 5th. Rudier, for his second, hasn't been too on the clinical form this season, but it's today, gets his second. Lorenzo has 2, and now Rudier has 2. The other then, first leg away in Shakhtar, under Turan, who's the manager. 5-1 win. Good setup for the second leg, but I think we might have some. We are then 2 wedge goals in that midweek game against Rennes, so comfortable win in that one. 2 goals from our big striker, which, I say big striker, it's only 6'1", but nice to see us from back from injury. He's still got his goal scoring form. So then it's that day again. It's youth intake day. 3 elite prospects, 3 top, 5 good, and 5 decent. Looks like Rudy Estechapar is our best one. Centre back, defensive midfielder. Marking, passing, tackling, first touch, decent. Good mentals as well. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Who else have we got? Romain Charles. He's decent. Dribbling, crossing, first touch, technique's decent as well. Fickle personality, not the best. Maybe we can train that out of him. Determination, flair, decent as well. Off the ball's decent, not bad from that one. Chic bar. Good physicals, dribbling, technique. Doesn't really have the finishing or composure or concentration really. Meh, not that convinced on him. On to the top prospects, another one pretty much the same story. Brendan Natal, not that convinced on him. Who else? Jonathan Meso, left back, good tackling. Possibly. 6 composure though. 5 vision, 3 jumping reach. Maybe, maybe not. Who else? Yazid Zaruki, right back. 4 marking, 4 tackling. 6 composure, 3 determination. And ambitious. 3 strength, 5 jumping reach. Probably not. We are then same team in this one. Could play on bio, but probably no need. So Ramos starts in goal, Lorenzo LaSalle, and by Chateau, Bricu, Barco, Shamir, Pereira, Rudier, and Wergy. Second leg, already 5-1 up, probably just a couple more goals in this one. So and here we are then, a little bit more than the 1200 here. For our place in, I believe it's the quarterfinal next. 41,000, a little bit more than the 1,200, was it? I forgot already. Chateau on the ball. Maybe we get a better performance. Or maybe we get a comeback from Shakhtar. Newton up to Maicon as a Rovi to Dia. Did score last game as a horror. Shot from distance, not really testing Ramos. Kurilev on the ball. Goal kick for Shakhtar. 10 minutes in, it's still a 5-1 aggregate, 0-0 in this one. Short to Mativenko to Bondar. Up to Dia, who did cause us issues last game. Barco finds Wergy, and I think that might be over. 1-0 on the night, 6-1 at aggregate, and I think that might... I mean, if it wasn't over before, I think it might be now. Jurashev to Bondor, Kzaev to Azrovi. Mativenko. I mean, Shakhtar aren't exactly laying down a letting win. I mean, I just think they're lacking a bit of quality, if I'm honest. Roudier brings the ball forward. Roudier tries to find Wergy. Barco is brought down. Ball is in the back of the net, but fortunately it's only a free kick for us. Barco lining up to shoot. Might as well with 6-1 up. Briku picks up the pieces. Not a bad effort from Barco. Probably better on assisting that, if I'm honest, but when you're 6-1 up, no harm in trying. Right, Diaz trying to get that one. LaSalle covering very well. Ramos brings the ball out quite comfortably. Finds Barco. Roudier. Chateau inside. Does try and get the ball. Pereira in, tries to get the shot on, just wide though. Not a bad effort. Chateau on the ball from the left. Down to Roudier. Chateau finds Barco. Chateau in the box. Scored 2 in the last one. Gets 1 in this one. Only scored 1 in the last one actually. Scores 1 in each leg. Does put us 2-1 up. 7-1 on aggregate. It's just a matter of how many at this point. Khrushchev to Dia. A little bit embarrassing for Shakhtar, but Roudier wins that one back. Over to Wergy. Bordeaux absolutely rampant. From the right to Jamir. Jamir on his left. On his left foot. He's going to shoot. He does shoot into the crowd though. Probably a little bit selfish. Lorenzo with the shot deflected. Not quite on target, but we'll take a corner from that one. Who's going to take it? Barco. Option to go short if he wants. Doesn't choose it. Bondor at the near post. Heads it away. And LaSalle is in the most time he could ever want. Lorenzo forward to Barco on his right foot. Weaker foot. Just puts that one wide. Kurilev plays it short. Matavenko. Not sure why they're passing it to their centre back to the keeper to then put it long. Chateau with a shot from range doesn't really test the keeper. Chateau finds Barco. Back to Chateau. Can he get a second? Maybe not. Bondor steps in. Counter attack. Maybe for Shakhtar. Bondarek. Khrushchev. Dia. Maicon. Space on the left. Up for Newton. Lorenzo tries to get back. Does get back. Good save from Ramos. Out for corner to Shakhtar. Maybe they can get themselves a goal back from the set piece. Right, couple changes. Michele, Charles, and a youth player is on. Guzmani, forgot his name, but on for the second half. At least he can give us some experience being this high. Really does get down, doesn't get the free kick, and Dia, who scored in the last game, is absolutely through and shoots straight at the keeper. Weird save from Ramos, but I guess he does keep it out. Lorenzo on the right, 60 minutes in. Michele, back to Lorenzo. Lorenzo passes man. Got a couple of players in the box, both from Shakhtar and from Bordeaux. Lose out. Dia on the counter attack. Maybe we can do a little bit better from this one. Inside LaSalle. Shot from range, easier for Ramos. Right. Ramos, short, to and by. 7-1 on aggregate. 30 minutes left of this tie, and probably not too much left of action. Tries to find Roudier from a long throw, from a long pass, and he goes out for a throw. Out to Mativenko. Zovorovi. It's not too bad. They don't look like a bad team. They just, I mean, passes like that make me sound a little bit suspect. I mean, they've got some good players, but I mean, when all that stuff's happening in Ukraine, you're not exactly going to want to move over to Ukraine, are you? Newton. Down the right, I think we've taken our foot off the spell a little bit. Romani to Roudier. Back to Romani. Tries to find Wergy. Does get in Wergy. Does take a little bit wide though. Chateau into the box. Chateau with a shot. Deflected off Isagui. Will go down as an own goal. It seems a little bit harsh. I'd give that one to Chateau. To be honest, at 8-1, I'm sure that defender probably doesn't want it anyway. Did my game really just crash there? Oh my lord. So then, after that crash, finished the youth intake, I believe. Yeah, still the same people. And we gotta play that game again. Luckily it saved after the Ren game, but not exactly great. So then, signaling up into this one, might as well just get this going as quick as possible. Might come down the left, cross deep, Diaz under it, Ramos catches that one pretty early. If Shakhtar come back from this one, after that crash, I'm going to be extremely mad. Finds LaSalle, up to Pereira, down to Jameer, in behind for Wergy. Can he get his goal? Takes it on a little bit wide though. Wergy, over to Barco. On his right foot, shot into the bottom corner. What a finish. Not even a minute gone. Barco, on his weak foot, finished into the bottom corner. Keeper could not save that. I don't think two keepers could have saved that. And back to Lorenzo. 23 minutes on the clock. Short term by. Finds Barco. Up to Briku. Out left to Chateau. Chateau takes on his man. Down the left, Chateau past his man. A lot of players in the box, could go alone as well. Chateau to Barker, deflected, as Rovey, just in the right place, was pretty good not to put in his own net from that distance. LaSalle to Mbaye, to Barco from the goal scorer. Tries to find Rudier, doesn't really find it. A little bit no nonsense from their defence. Chateau just completely falls over. Dia, LaSalle, deflected off to Newton, down the left, past Lorenzo, off the post. Zahora to Maicon. Zahora deflected off and by. A little bit of pressure from there, a little bit of, I guess, complacency. 29 minutes on the clock, 6-1 up, 1-0 on the night. Not exactly surprising. Chateau headers away. Newton back for Shakhtar. Newton past Barco, does win it back though. Ramos up to Briku, nods it down to Rudier. A couple of players are making a run, doesn't find any. Finds Pereira though. Pereira on a run. Defenders completely out of his way. Shot. Just not the best decision making. Out for a corner. Barco does our player short. Here is Jameer. Back to Barco. Rudier to the box. Right third shot. Not quite on the target. Kurlev. Did they change their goalkeeper? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, passes it short to Bondar. To Bandera. Out to Sahoro. To Dia. Chance to turn. Tries to find Maicon. I mean, LaSalle should have cut that one out, but doesn't. Past Lorenzo, shot. Pretty disappointing from their end, if I'm honest. Chateau brings it on the left just before half time. 43 minutes in, and Barco finds Pereira, finds Wergy deep. Jameer in behind on the right. Can Jameer get a goal this time? Finds the bottom right corner. Keeper doesn't really feel like diving today. I mean, 7-1, 2-0 on the night, and looks like this one, even though the crash happened, is still going our way. Barco in behind for Rudier. Rudier in the box. Does cut back. Rudier, chance to shoot, does shoot into the bottom corner. Keeper's not diving again. 3-0 on the night, 8-1 on aggregate, half time in this one, and long way back for Shakhtar. Lorenzo on the ball into the second half. Did do the youngster substitutions yet again. Chateau down the left. Does have a couple of options. Chateau into the box, cuts back to Rudier, to Romani. Rudier, Merveld. Back to Rudier. Rudier, a little bit just ping-pong in their box. 4-0, 53 minutes in, and 9-1 aggregate. It's just a matter of how many, not if the results are even going to ever change. Chateau, down to Romani, back to Chateau. To Merveld, Rudier. Back heel, Charles. From distance, Kurlev puts it out for a corner. 62 minutes on the clock. Still 4-0. 67 on the clock. Shakhtar have a corner as Rovi. Otoshuk brings it down at the near post. Newton, chance to shoot, and Shakhtar have a second. 4-1. 82 on the clock, still 4-1, 9-2 on aggregate. Ramos scored to LaSalle. I think probably could have got a clean sheet from this one. I think we're being a bit too complacent, especially with passes like that from Lorenzo. And Deacon Matam, their fullback this time, cuts back to Shuka, gets past. Not really sure what either player was doing, the striker or the goalkeeper. Somehow their shot goes out for a throw-in. 5 minutes after this one, Charles. Long ball up to McKaylee. Just playing with their defender at this point. Goes past him pretty easily. From left foot, bit of a spoon shot over the bar. McKaylee can go short, doesn't go short. Not really under it. Chateau was more near post than more far post than near post. Newton past Merville just pretty easily. Matam to Izaki. Past Chateau. Chance to get a third. Ramos. A little bit suspect, but we've seen a lot of suspect goalkeeping in these last 2 games, or 2.5 with the crash. And here we are then, after 2.5 games, Bordeaux at 4, Shakhtar 2, 9-3 on aggregate. And there is us into the next round of the Europa League. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode for the next round.